Oh, dang, man. Well, yeah, that's no fun. Sorry to hear about that. But it's you're lucky, like your house doesn't have a hole in it or something. Because I think a lot of people got really screwed over by this hurricane. Like it was no small thing.
Island in that way, those guys got hit good. Not good, but they got hit hard, let's put it that way. And yeah, a lot of blue tarps on roofs, and that's exactly what happens. A big branch comes through. You're living in a hotel for a while, which right now I wouldn't want to be in a hotel, that's for sure. And especially if I was up in Long Island or anywhere around New York. Not a good place to be. But, yeah, that's life with trees. It happens, but I'm just glad we figured out what killed them, because some people were thinking, it must be all them wires through there and all that, talking he does on the radio killed them, one of those deals. But no, the tree guy said it wasn't that.
Yeah. Dude, I'm like scared over here. I've got a couple of trees that they're not sick, but they're like some of the top branches are starting to rot a little bit. I gotta figure out how I can get these trees to like just help. And then the other thing that's really concerning is I've got these lantern bugs, and I don't know if you know anything about them, but they're an invasive species that kind of came from China. They popped up the past couple years, and they basically they kill trees. Like they just take out trees. I mean, they're beautiful bugs, but they are absolutely no good. And the EPA is telling everybody, if you see these bugs, kill them. Like, kill them right away. They're a big problem. So that I know my neighbor, my parents out in Pennsylvania, it's more of a problem there, and they have these they've got like host trees that they basically inject with poison that doesn't hurt the tree but kills off the lantern bugs for any tree that they've like homed in on. And I'm gonna have to start doing that over here, because I feel like I've seen a few of them this year, and it's only gonna get worse. That's a major problem around here, at least. I know it's a big problem in Pennsylvania, and I only live about 4 miles from the PA border, so I'm starting to see them, and it's just no good.
Yeah, we've had problems with them for the last 2 years, and my brother lives up by Wilkes-Barre, up that area. He had them like maybe 2 years before we did, so they're spreading out your way. But what I did this year is I knew where they made their little nests. I knew what to look for. They like the small trees, like ones with smooth bark, and like fruit trees and stuff like that. But you go out there in February with the credit card and you scrape off as much of the eggs as you can, and put it in a plastic bag and put some alcohol in there and throw a match on it.
Yeah, no, you got to get rid of them. That's it. I don't know. Invasive species. But it's a pretty big problem. Just starting to see a few this year. I mean, like every couple weeks, maybe I'll see one, but that doesn't mean that there's like a lot more around. It's when it gets bad, you'll start seeing them all the time. But man, I'm not a fan of the lantern bugs. They're beautiful, but, and if you try to kill them, like, step on them or whatever, those things can jump, man. They are fast. Like, dang, man. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of like a bizarre grasshopper mixed with, like, a cicada or something, the way they look. And they kind of fly like little butterflies. Yeah, they are good looking, their wings and stuff, but, yeah, they're a pain. But it was funny, the first time I ever saw a bunch of them, I was at work, and I work with a lot of people who came from Vietnam. So they had like these little sticks, and they're like whacking this tree. I'm like, what the hell are they doing? They're like, oh, kill these bugs, real bad, real bad. So apparently they were familiar with them from back in Vietnam.
Well, they are real bad. I mean, they kill trees. That's what they do. That's their purpose on this earth. Just kill trees. And I'm not down because my antenna is held up by trees, you know?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, so we have those in the area, and the thing that killed my trees, they were ash trees, was, I like to call it the emerald abrivite, but there is a scientific name for it. But it's some sort of a wormy type thing that gets in there, and it's just a mess. So the wood in the tree gets like all softened up from them. You can see them, they were like boring through everything. It's sad.
I gotta look into that because there's something going on with my tree out here. One of the ones that it supports my antenna actually seems like some of the top branches are getting a little soft, like rotting. Like I'll see, like little bits of branches that come down, and the bits that come down, they're like soft and rotted. So there's something going on with the tree. It's more or less healthy. It's got a little bit of that green, fungus or whatever the hell it is that's on it. But I read that that's not really bad for the tree. There's something else going on. And I use those Jobs tree spikes every year. Those things seem to help a lot, but I need to get like an arborist over here to tell me what the hell's going on with this stuff.
Yeah, I've had to deal with the arborists a couple times, and they're pretty good. I mean, you can call them up and get a full estimate. Usually, they'll tell you enough,
Thanks, buddy.
But they won't tell you everything when they do that, because they know, hey, I want the job. But, they have a service they call tree topping, where they'll take off the branches at the top that are not doing so good and leave the other ones alone. Some people think that's great, and there's others, the more progressive people, they get all upset about it. But, it is what it is.
Exactly. I don't know. I just don't want my my antenna supports to go away. That's literally it. Otherwise I wouldn't care. But I've been real lucky, man, and I'm knocking on wood right now. There's been some pretty crazy ass storms that have come through here, and my antenna just, it's still up.
Yeah, that's good. That's all you can hope for. But I mean, even there's another guy in my town. He's a big contester, but he's got quite a few towers and stuff, and they've always been up and helped up through everything. Superstorm Stan, no problem. It was all still there, but there were some winds that came through here over his way and twisted everything up, and he's replacing it all now. So even when you have towers, they have problems.
Speaking of towers, I've had a tower, I've got like a 60-foot crank up, been sitting in my driveway for, over a year now. I really, really need to dig a hole and fill it with concrete and get that damn thing up. I have a feeling that things are going to change in a big way once I do that, but I've really been dragging my feet on it.
Yeah, get to work already.
Hi, Dave.
Hello, I'm just listening. I'm just kind of cruising around on the internet listening to you guys, so I'm listening. So be careful what you say. W2VW.
W2BTK. Good evening, all.
Hey, and there's George. Hey, if anybody's upset that I'm on the radio or doesn't like me or anything, it's Dave's fault. It's totally his fault that I have any interest in ham radio at all or any good equipment or anything like that. So blame him. W2BTK.
Yeah, he can come over and kick my ass.
How you hearing me, Dave?
Sort of okay. The band was long 5 minutes ago. Both of you guys faded away, and then you came back.
I've only got, a measly 50 watts or so out of this Viking with the Variac turned down.
Yeah, you're doing all right. You're legible. You're above the noise, not by much, but you're okay.
Oh, screw that. I'm going to go turn some filaments on. It's a party now. Hey, George, you got a commanding signal in here. You must have changed something pretty major over there, because I noticed, George, when you've been getting on the air lately, you've had a hell of a signal, and it was real hit and miss for a long time, but now every time I hear you, you are like in there. What the hell did you do?
I added a couple of feet on a loop. I'm operating a loop, by the way. To be honest with you, I'm not ready to take responsibility for the signal yet. I added about 20, 30 feet of wire to the loop, and yeah, being stealth and stuff next to buildings, I'm not too sure what the hell is happening. But thanks. I'll keep you guys posted on the isotron. I'm working on it. That is what's left of it. I'm modifying the hell out of it. Anyway, thanks, Billy.
Yeah, we're 10 to 20 over down here in Ferguson.
I think you're yanking my chain there, George. You did something major over there. I know it. You got a couple of tricks up your sleeve.
No. By the way, you're 30 over here, so there's propagations. Believe me, I wouldn't be falsely modest. If I did anything that eventually I feel I can take credit for, I will. Right now, I'm not too sure.
Well, I don't know if I buy that. You got something going on over there, something good. And whatever it is, keep it a secret, man, because it's working for sure. But I'm going to see if I can be 50 over in a minute.
Yeah, honesty went out the window on this band years ago.
I'm on my third glass of wine, so ask me questions. I'll be honest.
My transmitter runs on a 9-volt transistor battery.
I don't know, I cleared all the bird dung off my wires and everything works better.
See that?
I'm going to paint the ballon with a special paint.
I redid my ballon, and it didn't change anything about anything, but I told myself that it's like some special sauce.
Well, in case you ever get a real, transmitter with a couple of watts, you're ready.
Dude, that thing will hold back some watts, man. Maybe someday I'll have a transmitter with a couple of watts.
Yeah, I almost went down in the basement today to get the RF deck for the kilowatt. I came close.
Dude, you've been putting some pretty crazy signals on me lately, with just that 4400. That's one.
Yeah, well, it's going to get better because I'm going to optimize the antenna for this band. And then I'll get that other transmitter going. And I'll have higher percentages of positive peaks than I do now.
Well, you're 67 dB above the noise floor.
I guess that's pretty good. With the noise floor is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take that. Thank you for the report. Nice to know I can make it above Mother Nature.
Oh, Boo Boo says hello, by the way. She just wandered over and went, "Wow, wow." So I got a major upgrade over here. which is a wireless mouse to control my receiver. So, like, those of you familiar with the live stream, you know, like, I get up a lot, and I reach up to the top of the rack to make changes. Those days are over. I got a mouse now. It's wireless. I could just sit here in my lazy man chair and then turn my head to the left and notch people out. You know, like the received notching is just going to be way faster now. So anybody trying to QRM or whatever, well, honestly, like, it's just not, it didn't work well before, and it's really not going to work well now because I've got, like, instant access to asymmetrical bandpass filters and unlimited notch filters. And, you know, I can throw them in real fast now.
So how fast is that? Like milliseconds or?
It depends how many glasses of wine I've had, but yeah, it could be milliseconds to like maybe seconds.
That's being honest.
So faster than my MFJ signal enhancer.
What's that?
Never mind. It's just a thing I made up.
Oh, well, I was going to ask where I could get one.
eBay.
Oh, hell yeah. Hold on, I think, has it been 7 minutes yet? My signal enhancer might be ready. Let me go check. I'll see if the filaments are happy yet.
You got to build a remote panel for that thing, man, so you could sit and not get up all night while you're on the air like most hams.
It's coming. I've got so I got my LDMOS transistors today, my $30 LDMOS, the MRF 300s. So this is going to be a interstage amplifier capable of 600 watts PEP, and it's all going to be right here next to me now, because I'm pretty much thinking that I'm going to get on the air with this vector signal generator a lot. You know, the Viking 2 will just be like kind of like, you know, maybe take it out once or twice on the weekends. But I'm going to focus on this vector signal generator, and with the addition of this, you know, like manageable, not as easily overdrivable interstage amplifier based around these MRF 300s, it's going to drive Big Blue and basically, you know, like the little Chinese amp turns the VSG into a rice box, and then this MRF 300 interstage amplifier turns that into a Viking 2 in terms of power level, and then, like, you know, we're all good. Instead of plate modulated, we'll just be quadrature modulated, and it just sounds fancier, and I can write things in the waterfall, and well, who knows, like, you know, I don't think that it's against FCC rules to have pornography digitally superimposed onto a waterfall display yet. W2BTK, I'm going to go check the filaments.
Yeah, that's really a bad idea, but I know you're just kidding. But we did have some people up the band, just slightly up the band from here, that were they were doing that. Only there was it was, well, I'm not even going to say what it was, but it was no, I just can't say it over the air. But it was pretty bad. I know you're away from the switch.
Oh, God. Dave, what? Can you give me an S meter reading? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
What?
Oh. I guess you couldn't hear me. Am I still in the noise? This is W2BTK on Montana Mountain.
Yeah, the band's all over the place.
That's crazy. Hold on, I've got What is that? Okay, that's a 50-watt element. So that would be 5, 6. I have 7 watts of reflected power. What the hell, man? I don't know. This my antenna could be on the ground for all I know.
Yeah, 7 watts. Remote. Yes, remote means for the A amplifier, you know, so you could totally remote control that thing. I mean, if you look at the way every one of those front panel switches works, you can pretty much duplicate that panel with a remote panel. It'd be cool.
Yeah, I should work on that. I could build a matching panel and put it in the rack out here. But, it's all a work in progress. Just the fact that I can sit in another room and operate all the equipment in the other room was quite a feat. I'm still kind of just sitting back and enjoying that.
Yeah, understood. I don't blame you one bit, because I know what that takes to do it right. I have yet to do it right, but I have it working myself, where all my stuff does what I want it to do when I want it to do it. W2 very weak. Yeah, that's what you do. Build a box with all the same lights and switches in it, and use like 3 Cat 5 cables. And you'll have enough for everything. And just parallel all the lamps. And the switches, I think 3 of them are normally closed and 3 of them are normally open. And all you got to do is, the ones that are normally closed, you have to run your remote in series with it. And the ones that are normally open, you have to run your remote in parallel. And you're done.
Yeah, that's relatively simple. I believe that, I could do that. And if I couldn't do that, then they should probably take away all of these Hatzel and Bueller shirts that they gave me. I have so many of these damn things now, I'll never have to do laundry again.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Man, you never have to do laundry again. Well, what do you do with the old ones? You just throw them out the window?
Yeah, dude, like they I think I have like 10 of them. So like literally, and we're working 410s, so I have to do laundry every like 2.4 weeks.
Yeah, that ain't bad, man. But anyway, I don't want to monopolize it. I know there's a couple other guys in here, so let me shut up for a minute. W2 very weak. And I know there might be people out there listening and saying, yeah, Dave.
Yeah, you're very weak.
Any update on Clark, by the way?
So Clark, I gave him a call last week, and I was like, yo, Clark, why aren't you on the air? Like, what the hell? You just watching Urbex videos? And he's like, no, I've been out of power for days now, and both of my antennas fell down. So I believe that's why Clark is not on the air. He's got no antennas.
Now that sucks. Well, I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah, he's fine. He's just his ham radio setup is not fine. And Dave, I just got your text. That sucks. I'm still in the noise. Damn it.
See the amount of QSB?
That was yeah. I mean, that's a lot of dB of inconsistency.
Yeah, it's like there's no, whatever level of the ionosphere is supporting our communication, is in a state of upheaval right now. I mean, wow.
The RF gods are pissed off. Hey, Bruce, are you still there, man? Kind of like, I feel bad. It was like all me and you for a while, and then we like started a party. I feel like we're leaving you out or something.
Oh, no, I'm still here all right. I'm just reading about quadrature modulation and stuff like that. You got me looking into that.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, it's nothing new. I was talking to Nick, KG2IR. They've been doing that stuff since, like, the 50s, but as far as, like, all the SDR-based transceivers out there and non-flex, this and that, it's all quadrature modulation and this and that. You know, you watch some YouTube videos, you learn about it. It's basically 2 AM signals, you know, and a bunch of phase information beating against each other, creating a complex waveform. And it's really cool. So what I have here is a vector signal generator, which uses quadrature modulation to do whatever the hell you want. I can feed it I and Q signals, or I can feed it just one signal to make normal AM.
Okay, yeah, I see that, and that's how the vector signal generator fits in there. So now, would one signal be for your positive peaks and the other for the negatives, or, yeah, you know, I'm still trying to grasp that part, too.
Well, it's a little different. It's like, it's an I and a Q signal, right? And it's 2 waveforms, or 2 signals in quadrature. And, you know, the difference between them basically makes, you know, a third waveform, which is like your output, your complex waveform. And that, you know, like you can basically use 2 AM signals to make any mode or anything you want, and that's how it works. But if you want to make just normal AM, both the I and the Q signal, God, I've had 3.5 glasses of wine. I'm explaining quadrature. The I and the Q signal are going to be identical, just to make normal AM. So with the vector signal generator, I just feed audio to the I input, and it, like, you know, it just makes normal AM, because, you know, there's no point in having the end user feed the I and Q an identical signal. You only have to feed the I.
Okay, so the I's have it. It's good to see it. N3RAK. And, yeah, I'm just wondering, I'm also wondering at the same time, I've been looking at these little monitor scopes that kid made and stuff, and I've been seeing a circuit that people have been hooking up to them to make a clock out of them, which, that's kind of interesting, but I'm wondering if that's related to it somehow. They're putting 2 signals into it and getting all kinds of wild stuff out of it.
I mean, yeah, maybe. You just need to, like, check out YouTube. There's a dude with some really good videos, W2AEW, and that dude actually lives near me. I've met him at the New Providence ham auction. W2AEW has great videos about quadrature modulation and, you know, how it works, and he's so fluent in it. He can explain it in a way that, like, anybody can understand it. And I would recommend his videos over anybody else's videos, just because of how well he understands it. Like, you know, the better you understand something, the more likely it is that you can explain it to, like, a layman, you know what I mean? And he's really, really good with that stuff. So he's simplified it enough to where, like, just a beginner can pick it up. if you don't know anything about it. And I totally recommend his videos. That's where I started, W2AEW on YouTube.
Okay, yeah, I'm already subscribed to him, and he does some great work with the All-American 5, explaining that and stuff in a way that, yeah, I think anybody could understand it. And actually, I know he has one of his videos, he has a picture of a scope, you know, a green phosphor display, and he has his own picture in that scope, which sort of interested in that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I'll go check it out. And you may be on 3.5 glasses of wine. I went shopping with the wife, so my brain's kind of dead today, too. So.
That would do it.
Yeah, I hear you, man. W2BTK. Yeah, 3.5 glasses of wine. See, I'm not used to that. Like, I was on the Devil's Lettuce for a while, but I quit that a while ago. And this whole alcohol thing, I mean, it's really no good. I feel like that they should make the other thing legal and probably make this illegal.
That's quite a can of worms. But, well, at least hopefully you're drinking stuff that isn't in a brown bag, you know?
Yeah, and you gotta, it's all got corks, so, you know, it's not cheap crap. I usually go for, like, the $10 to $15 bottles of Cabernet.
Okay, so you're staying away from Thunderbird. That's good, because that was my college days.
Better off with Merlot.
You think so, Dave?
Yeah, you know, it thins out the blood. But everything in moderation, which reminds me, I gotta go get another...
Oh, un cerveza más fina.
No, Sam Adams. We put a bunch in the fridge because we were having the kids over and they're away.
Oh, hell yeah. I love me some Sam Adams, man. The Boston Lager. Sam Adams. I haven't had one of those in a long time. They taste really good, though.
Yeah, this is summer ale. I like the lager better myself. But if we keep this up, Tommy is going to come out of the woodwork and hit us with some beer snob kung fu. I don't know if I'm ready for that tonight.
Oh, man. Tommy's got the beer snobbery going on. I think he's getting into a little bit of whiskey snobbery, and then the whole like leftist hive mind thing. That's 3 strikes. It's no good. Let's just do ham radio.
Yeah, I was thinking myself for one, just like Forrest.
Hey, what voltage are you running that device you just got at? You know, proposed IPA.
50 voltages.
Very interesting. You know, that's ain't far away from those MRF 151Gs, you know.
What, that was the PA in those Comark thingies?
Yeah, each is a Siamese. So there's a couple of, I guess you can't say Siamese anymore. And some of them have black writing, but you can't say that anymore. Siamese black, made in Canada, you won't be able to see that anymore. Yeah, never mind. This stuff's all going to be illegal soon.
Well, these MRF 300s are so cool that they make an MRF 300A and an MRF 300B. And the difference is they flip the source and drain so that, like, when you want to build a push-pull amplifier, you can do it easily. You know, both transistors aren't sitting on top of each other. It's actually very well thought out.
Oh, check that out. Yeah, so all it is the physical... Oh, that's really cool. And everything, yeah, that makes all the sense in the world, man. For push 'em and pull 'em. Yeah, I got it up here. I'm looking at an NXP site. Very nice, very nice. I think one of these is like equivalent to the pair of MRF 151s. because I think that, not a pair, but, you know, a single unit, you know what I'm talking about. You got 6 connections to it. So these are twice as much dissipation for the... It's the same dissipation, but half the amount of device, if you will. I don't know if you follow him. Never mind.
Well, hey George, what's the microphone du jour?
A modified Argon 57. The original elements were nasal, so I had to change them after many, many bouts on ear. And Tim was very kind to be gentle with me. But finally hit home. So the crystal elements, those crystal elements went, and I have a ceramic in there from a mobile mic. Nice looking thing. Nice looking thing, but of course it's not oregano. Pardon me.
This sounds pretty good. It's got a good amount of bite to it in the high mid-range there, which is very effective for summer nights like these. You're kind of like you know, you're beating up the static. That's for sure.
George, could you yell just for 2 seconds? I'd like to hear it.
Can't take a rain check. My next door is sleeping. If you don't mind.
Yeah, it's okay, but it sounds like you're like in the phone sex business or something.
And never have been, never will. But I understand.
A really mellow Barry White type thing.
Oh, that's my CB handle, White Barry White.
Anyway, KC2 CWM, come with money, sitting here, just turned it on. In Long Island, Richie.
What up? See, I can yell. There's no paper-thin walls. There's no neighbors within, you know. I could probably shoot guns off and not wake anybody up. What?
Happy day, Frank. That's because all the sound is going up the chimney next to you.
That's right. I've got this nice stone fireplace. Hold on. I need to, if I'm going to be yelling into the mic, I need to turn on some reverb. What?
That sounds like my wife.
That wasn't bad.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, George sounds like he's cracking a safe or something, you know. All right, keep it down.
I think he's the mellowest guy on ham radio.
One day, George is going to come out here and just walk on everybody. I know it. Holy crap. I'm looking at my PEP reading watt meter, and I'm a mud duck.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just trying to throw everybody off.
Yeah, I'm looking at mine here, too. Hello, and it's right. Well, I haven't changed anything on any of this. And nothing's broken, and it hasn't arced over, and I'm starting to get kind of disappointed because it's boring.
This one's not boring. I was completely lying. It's, well, you know the element that I run. It's in the corner, Dave. In the corner. Hello, hello. Jesus.
Yeah, well, if you can't see the grid current, you probably should stop doing that. Just based on the design parameters there, I mean, you can do that, but, yeah, you want to get 20 years out of that tube, at least.
I've never seen the damn grid current meter, like, move much. And, you know, like, I've made it move, but it was hard to do.
That's good. That's the way it should be. That means that you're not that guy that doesn't know how to make one of those tubes work that we talked to that night.
nicely put.
I mean, I've run it just like this, you know, and it's not like in the corner, man. Like, you know, it'll chill a little bit below the corner, and then every once in a while on a certain syllable or peak, it'll just bam right up there. But not but yeah, see, it's not really like slamming. It's getting up there a little bit though.
I just think the last guy that used that amp never got to see the output at all.
Yeah, that's I mean, dude, you've got a lot of street cred just for that.
Yeah, well, that was a really good exercise in design, as far as I'm concerned. And what's every bit as good as that was taking one of those coaxial dynamics watt meters and setting the alarm so that the relay would click at the desired forward power, which we never used with Blue, but he used it with his Commander amp. I had it set for 400 watts of carrier, and it would click. That way he knew that everything was all set. But he used to use the RF gain knob on a 75A4. He would ride that, and wherever it was turned was his gauge. That's how he measured stuff. That was it.
That's wild, man. For some reason, this watt meter, I've never gotten the forward power alarm to work properly. Like, I always got a lot of false positives. But the reflected power alarm works great. So that's what I've been running with, and that's the only one I have hooked up as far as like unkeying the transmitter. If I go above, yeah, I think I have it set for like 30 watts reflected power. It'll just unkey everything.
Yeah, that's great. W2VW. Tommy PJH is trying to break in. Are you trying to break in? Try again.
Well, I can't hear a thing. I can tell you that.
I see a signal that's a little high, like 3878 or so, maybe.
What?
Oh, I heard the imitation watt.
Oh, there's something.
Well, it's a
Is that you, Tommy?
That's him. I know. I just measured his frequency, and I know that crystal.
I'm seeing a big fat carrier streak, and the modulation's up there, but the noise level's up there too. I didn't hear. Dave, are you hearing Tommy pretty well?
I just detected a carrier. Give us some more transmission like the Gettysburg Address. Yeah. You're on like 86.7. I can't detect the modulation, and the signal's really PW. You should probably try this during the day. You might have a gross antenna mismatch too, because you got to re-dip, man. You got to re-dip the plate current when you switch over to the antenna. I'm not sure if you know that, but you're there. There's something coming out of there. You see the carriers, Billy?
Yeah, I've got Tommy's carrier in here. I definitely see it. He's about 34 dB above the noise level with his carrier, and the modulation is just getting a little bit buried tonight.
Yeah, it's brutal here.
You both are making it beautifully, though.
Come on during the day sometime, Tommy. You know, we can do this during the daytime, Tommy. Let me know when, and I'll fire up. We'll get something working. Because now, it's like...
Yeah, I'm hearing Tommy's modulation, and he's got a strong carrier here, but the noise level's so high that I'm just not pulling any intelligibility out of it. But that's a good working setup for now. During the daytime, it would probably be pretty awesome. So, Tommy, I'll PM you my my cell phone number or whatever, and you just during the day or whatever, you already know Dave's just give him a call, give me a call or whatever. We'll set up a sched, and we'll get on the air during the day. And that thing is working just fine, man. Trust me. Summer conditions suck balls, and you I don't know if you exactly know what I'm doing over here, but you know, it's it's not a Hallicrafters HT40, so don't feel bad about it. The conditions suck ass right now.
What's he running? 5 watts and a piston string? Yeah, no signal. I can't detect a signal at all. And you guys, you and Dave are both very strapping. Well above the step.
Holy Christmas, look at him.
He's running a Hallicrafters HT40, and I think it's a full-size doublet at 40 feet or something like that, but I don't think there's any, he's feeding it with open wire line, and there's no matching device at all, and I don't know if he's redipping his plate current with the HT40 to make it work. I'm not sure of the little details there, so this is the first time anybody's heard him on the air, so we can only get better from here, Timmy.
Well, I would say HT40, that's about 15 watts, 10 to 15 watts. And into, you know, a reasonable antenna, I should hear something in there. But I hear nothing.
Yeah, he's only like 5 miles from me, and I can't pick up his audio, and Billy is. So, you know what? It's okay, because it's better than what we had last week. At least now he could hook a key up and send CW and say, Billy, we're coming for you. You're a lid.
For modification, the HT40, like a DX60, can be modified to transmit H1 emission, modulated telephonography.
Wait, Tim?
Timmy.
Tim, can you hear me?
Now you're somebody.
Oh, Christ. All right, I just wanted to find out what he call it, an Eiffel Tower or something. It's fantastic and strong.
It's just the wind is blowing the right way.
Timmy, did you say modulated telephonography? What the hell is that?
Well, I can't send H1 emission with this transmitter. A plate modulated transmitter, modulated telephonography can be quite destructive. I'll have to demonstrate it sometime with a little screen-modulated transmitter into a linear. Then you'd get the picture.
You must be on the Blue McGee. I understand that you're having a little problem with the wire array, but you're still 54 dB above the noise here. That's 54 dB SNR. I should show you some of the capability of this vector signal generator, Timmy. I'm able to put out multiple carriers, maybe let's say a carrier on 3885, a carrier on 3875, and a carrier on 3895, and modulate all of them. Actually, I could put out as many carriers as I want within a 96 kilohertz spread and modulate every single one of them. I could put out a single sideband phone signal that is 96 kilohertz wide. All of this into a dummy load, of course, but the capability of this thing is pretty astounding.
Yeah, that's what you were telling me. I'd be curious to hear you set up, say, at least 3 or 4 carriers spaced at 5 kilohertz apart. No, it's a general call kind of thing. Well, modulated telephonography can kind of fit the same application. No, the wire array is, I just decommissioned it because I'm in experimental mode. I've been trying to play around with existing antenna systems I have to see what they do on 40 meters. So the West Element is set up on 40 right now.
Has there been a lot of activity up there? Because I've noticed quite a lull in activity on the 75-meter AM watering hole frequencies.
Well, lately, probably about 8:30 at night, I've been up on 40 meters. There's a group of people in there in the top end of the band on 7290, probably about 10:30, 11 o'clock. You know, it's a lot different, more laid back and that kind of thing. And not everybody can hear everybody else, and then when it starts getting that way, I lose interest. But I've always operated on 40, but you're not there rather than the park with the static and listening to any right-wing political garbage.
W2 very weak.
This is WA1HLR.
W2BTK. Well, I might be more active on 40 these days. Like my struggle over here is, I've got the Viking 2 that needs to be retuned, and my double L, coupler that I use on the antenna here is not very easy to retune quickly. So with one of those, the implementation of this vector signal generator, I can just spin a dial and get on 40 meters. So that takes like half of the work out. I can just deal with the antenna coupler now. I might start to be more active on other bands, not having to fool around with the transmitter as much, just like get the antenna coupler correct and then just spin a dial on the transmitter. It's just a lot more likely that I'd be active on other bands. I still have a problem with 160. I need to add some wire to my antenna because I shortened my feed line about, I took about 10 or 15 feet out of my feed line, and it gave me a mad ass voltage feed for 160. It starts arcing somewhere in the antenna system. If I go over about, 500 watts peak, which is, the Viking will cause that damn thing to arc over on 160 right now. So, but I don't know. It's going to be more likely. I'm working on some interstage crap so that I can make this kind of signal. I'm running the Viking 2 right now. I'm working on some interstage amplifiers that'll allow me to have this signal with the vector signal generator, which I can't do right now, but it's in the works, Timmy.
All right, Billy. Well, I'll tell you, I know you're a working schlub, but I try and get on 40 meters in the early afternoons, like 1, 2 o'clock, if I'm not busy doing something. And propagation between the two of us is very good at that time. Even getting on around 4 or 5 in the afternoon, or shall I say, before sunset. It works very well, but then, there's some shortwave broadcast garbage in there, so you gotta step one way or the other to avoid it, But, yeah, 440's an interesting band, but then when the sun goes down, everything changes like it does on this band. But then again, unlike 160, you don't need the amount of antenna, Myself, I've got quite a few different transmitters at different power levels. I may just leave one set up on 40. It's like the Viking 1.5. I've just left that on 160. This transmitter, the Blue Magoo, I generally have been leaving up on 40 meters. The Junction 600, I generally will leave on 75 in case I need a situation that needs a good boot in the ass. But the other night I had a weakness. I caved into the evil forces of Slop Bucket. And I got on 40 meters Slop Bucket with my S-line around 3 in the morning. I heard a guy, with a 5 area call sign. Was it a 5 area call sign or something like that? But anyway, or a 4 area call sign. He was operating from New Mexico, and he had a good signal, and he sounded fairly good for Slop Bucket, even though the S-line is a narrow pass band. He had his audio adjusted just right as far as contouring, and you know how it is when two radio amateurs meet up for the first time. It's like two dogs, and start sniffing each other's asses and checking each other's units out and all that kind of thing. Well, I told the guy that I operate AM most of the time, and he said that he'd been on a few times and he wasn't averse to it. And he wanted to know, he wanted to hear my AM stations. I figured, well, I'll jump into it both feet, so I put the Junction 600 on, and I could hear his rice box into his amplifier. He was only able to make about 100 and some odd watts, and he's using, I think he was using some off-center fed antenna about maybe, 30, 20 feet off the ground at the ends and maybe 30 or 40 feet at the center of it. And the propagation was good, but, it's like I come out here because I can't sleep, and I got to do something to take my mind off of things and reset the counter so I can go back to bed, and that's exactly what I did. So I just moved the gear around and leave it be. So if I want to get on a band quickly, albeit piss weak, low power, I can. But that's the way it is. So for now, the Blue Magoo is going to sit on 75, and just move things around. That's what it's all about. So you probably need to barf up another antenna, 40-meter ant, or shall we say a length of wire, at least 65 or 70 or 75 feet long. If you can fit up something like that, it'll work great on 40. As long as you feed it with open wire line.
Yeah. 40's like hit, you know, that's a weird band if you're trying to talk to local people. Hit or miss, but I've just got one antenna over here. I've got room for one antenna, and it's 140 feet long, so I mean it's almost like an EDZ on 40, almost. But this is what I'm gonna be using, and I'll just have to fart around with the double L network and get on 40. And it doesn't take that long, maybe, you know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes or so. I got to stick the antenna analyzer into it and tune it up, but I've been leaving it parked on 75. It's been parked on 75 for a long time just because, you know, I get on here. This is where the most activity is, so I just leave it here. But it sounds like a lot of people are hanging out on 40 these days, so once I get this interstage amplifier going and I get all my crap up, you know, that'll work really good. This antenna has got a little tiny bit of gain on 40, so it actually kicks a little more ass on 40 than it does here. It's not bad, so it's in the works. I've got, you know, it's all very yellowy technology. We've got this quadrature modulated crap and, you know, solid state cockroach amplifier, interstage amplifiers, but it's all still, at least the final PA is a tube with handles. Always, Timmy. W2BTK.
Oh, 40 meters and the propagation is efficient. You don't need a tube with handles, but it's good to have. Yep, when I put the Blockbuster on 40 meters, and that's a tube with handles, it really wiped the slate clean. 40 meters, no, right now it's not a local band. Give it a few years as we approach the, you know, when we start coming up the ramp of the spun-sot cycle, it'll become a local band in the bay, and it's very effective. You know, that guy with the HT40 would do very well on 40 meters, you know, during the day at the peak sunspot level.
Hear that, Tommy?
Doubling with anybody?
But he has to have an antenna and an antenna kit special.
He's got a decent antenna. I mean, he's got almost the same antenna that I have. I think his antenna is about 20 foot shorter overall at the same height. Different locations, so, you know, all bets are off, but it's what he has, from what I understand, is not a bad antenna.
Well, he needs a real antenna tuner. I don't mean a mofo junk tuner either. Is it copyable?
You're copyable, George, and yeah, I've got the live stream up right now, Timmy, and we're talking to him about it. Dave's telling him about the double L network tuner, same crap that I have over here. Right now, I think he's just, no tuner, just straight open wire right out of the HT40 into the antenna. So the fact that I was hearing him up here is good.
Probably couldn't load the transmitter up to make any power. And with a spring modulator transmitter, if you don't load it correctly, it's making a modulate worth of crap.
That was like a perfect double, but I heard you, Timmy.
Yeah, who's doubling?
I think I was just simply saying good night and thank you for the accompaniment here on AM. Good night, all. Go ahead, Billy.
Your swing business, sleep tight, and don't let the bed bugs bite.
Yeah, see you later, George. You're sounding good. Real good signal up here, too.
Thank you, Billy. Thank you. Talk to you guys as soon as I can. Be well. Stay well. Good night.
Yeah, I gotta build up the muting interface box. I can hear George in there fairly too freely, but the static is gnawing at his ass.
No, he's hitting a 50 dB SNR over here, so that ain't piss weak.
Yeah, well, he does get up on 40 and, in the daytime, and George has got a much, much better signal on 40 than he does on 75. That's his best band.
Yeah, it's you don't need as much antenna up there, and he's very, very restricted. Dave was doing pretty stupid signal levels up here with what he's got going on. He was talking about dragging the desk kilowatt RF deck out of the basement. That's gonna be pretty stupid.
He's got a Junkston kilowatt RF deck.
Dave VW.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought he was using that with an external modulator. Maybe that's the Junkston 500.
What did I miss? I was in the kitchen.
Talking about dragging the kilowatt RF deck out of the basement, but yeah, that's the Junkston 500i.
Yeah, this is the Junkston 500, but I'm using all the controls and everything that's being used on the 500 also can be cut over to the kilowatt, Timmy. Everything. So it's like a 5-minute job. I was working on the RF deck, making some changes, and it wouldn't take me very long to drop the RF deck back in the pedestal and all that. And then all I have to do is go in this rack here and cut over some RG8 solid dielectric, which runs the modulated B+ over the thing. And it's ready to go. And the thing about that's better than this transmitter is that it gets excited with a modern exciter. But that's changing. What I'm doing with that, I'm not even going to tell you until you hear it on the air. And then I might not even tell you that.
You can make up an SBE rig, or just use the SBE oscillotron as a source of RF.
Yeah, I'm never going to do it an SBE old-fashioned way like you do it. That's an art. That's a technique. It's something it's intriguing, and actually it really makes people angry. And I've noticed that people it makes angry are people that I really don't like them very much. So that part's really good. But the whole thing, where it moves around when the wind blows on your antenna and you got to be constantly screwing around with it. No. However, an ESBE, now there's something I could do over here. I've got the several signal generators that are only 35 years old, and you can PM your carrier and use that as your source, your RF source. So I could do that.
Oh, yes. Yeah, my wife and I were having a little bit of interdepartmental communication. So you were thinking of a Class E SBE?
No. If you ever hear me doing anything Class E, it just means I've completely lost my mind. And you should probably just avoid me from then on, because I'd be unstable. No, you're probably never going to hear that from here. No, I'm talking about an ESBE, not Class E. There's a difference. E, for electronic SBE, where you PM the signal generator and use that as your RF source. You put some PM on it, and then you just high-level modulate it at the same time. So you have, you know what ICPM is? Incidental phase modulation. Well, this would be NICPM. It would be not incidental phase modulation.
I see. Well, you can do some interesting things with that. You probably have heard of the Con Power side.
Yeah, many times I've heard about it extensively, yes, and it's really interesting stuff. Clark might even run outside and put his antenna back up if we keep talking about this. W2VW.
What?
Yep. Well, in that case, you could, if you do it right, with the phase, I don't know if you have to shift the phase of the audio going to the phase modulator, the low-level exciter, and that going to the plate modulator. Well, you could have something that would be that much more energy on the upper sideband than the lower, or vice versa. You do a lot of interesting things with it.
Yeah, absolutely you could. And of course you're going to get that. You're going to have, if you PM the carrier, depending on how, depending on just what the amount of PM is, So SBE to me is more attractive than plain old-fashioned. It's like you're running the old-fashioned automotive cooling system where you have to fill up the radiator and the steam comes out. I'm running a pressurized system.
Hey, dummy! Use a dummy load!
Yep. Yes, you're running the modern, high-performance, high-tech SBE.
Yes.
So anyway. Yep. It will be interesting. My SBE, if I spent, one of these days where I feel like doing just another project to get part of my station up and running again, I could get the SBE rig back online. I got to replace, the high voltage, put a real set of high voltage connectors on the power supply modulator, and that going up to the oscillotron, and redo a few other things, and she'll be back online again, stirring up the usual hate and discontent,
Well, yeah, that'd be good. I like to have a protracted, long 4-hour QSO with you sometime with that. Probably right here. And we could talk about the planet. Not the radio station, but the planet, Earth. Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Maybe I should include my exciter plans here and get that SIG gen going, because it's legal now. That isn't legal, but now it's legal. I like that.
Yeah, of course. I was thinking back to electronic countermeasures when Glenn Bastard was on the air. And I figured I would come up with something that'd be very, very annoying. Because, even though Glenn Bastard appeared to go away, he really didn't go away. He was very pissed weak on Slump Bucket. But he'd be on there continuously. He might lodge himself up in between 3885 and 3890. So I decided to build almost a jamming SBA. So I took a BC375 tuning unit box that wasn't being used for anything, and I took all these different pieces, parts, and I built up a low-power SBA, complete with single-ended modulator, and, I experimented with various forms of triode connecting a TV sweep tube, and got it working pretty well. It was pretty stable. I'd fire the thing up. I would just leave it running on top of them just to check the drift. And it drifted a little bit, but then when it settled in, if the wind wasn't blowing, it didn't drift, but when the wind did pick up, it would start to wipe his ass back and forth and back and forth. And then if I got really pissed off, I'd put some hum on the carrier by introducing 60 cycles to the input of the modulator. So, then after a while, I gave up on that, and I brought it up to the bus, and I used it. I thought, I could use this thing as a source of RF to drive the BC610B that might be halfway stable. And for some reason or other, when driving a Class C, grid-driven amplifier, there was a raucous 120 cycle hum that I couldn't quite get my head around. It was almost useless.
Very interesting. I wonder where that was coming from. Well, of course, with the real, use a real BC610 exciter, and you got your phase modulation going with that as well. Only it's not, it's just hum, That kind of takes the fun out of it. Yeah, old low mu triodes and stuff like that. That's really, really cool stuff, but I'm never going to play with that here. That's not going to happen. I don't have the hours or that much of an interest in it. But I want something you can punch it up and make it do exactly what I want it to do with lab type equipment. And you may hear that. Maybe a year from now we'll all be on here talking about it. And maybe we can work some international 75 meter DX SBE. That'd be kind of cool. Get some guy. I remember this guy in the Ukraine, UR5QGC. He built his own AM transmitter. It's as old as I am, from 1962. And I used to run into him on 10 meters the last cycle. I don't know what happened to him. He disappeared. But anyway, think about that. And some of these guys obviously were working with next to nothing. That's ham radio.
No grazing area?
No grazing.
Yep. you gotta have the grazing area. That's when the wind blows. The grazing area are the limits, the side-to-side limits that the wind and the mechanicals of the antenna impose on the situation. Yes, indeed. Yeah, you know, I can remember being on 10 metros. Oh my God, almost 40 years ago. It was when all the AM activity hung around 28A. It was before everybody moved up to 2900, just before. And I'd get on there and bellow out a few CQs, and I would sometimes have a British radio amateur come back to me, and we'd be trying to communicate. And the Russian operators were about the rudest I've run into. They all their transmitters were just SBEs, but they all really sounded like crap, and they'd be drifting back and forth, and they just didn't seem to have a concept that you might be talking to somebody, and they'd sit there and call you and call you and call you, and I would just ignore them because they'd piss me off. But that's what I remember.
Yeah, that's a lot different. I mean, things changed, with, obviously in 1989, the whole game changed, but before that, yeah, I could see that. Because you had political types, and that was about it that you'd hear from Russia on the air. And you weren't going to talk to them about anything except for what your radio was and your antenna, and maybe the weather, and that was it, because they would just disappear. There was no chewing the rag, but all that changed. And yeah, the Russian, there's another country that's way more rude than the Russians in the DX these days. I'm not going to mention it. But anyhow, yeah, I've run into Russians a lot, like on the digital modes, and it's a lot of fun because you work 2 or 3 of them, and then all of a sudden 50 of them come out of the woodwork. I guess they spot you, and everybody sees it, and it's fun. And the ones that I've run into lately are patient. Like, you get somebody, they can't hear you, you can repeat until it's all over, and they wait their turn, and they're actually very good operators. Today, that's my experience.
Bob! Oh, sorry, I had a wine sneeze.
Yeah, everything changes with times. I haven't talked to a Russian station in maybe 30 years. Every once in a while I hear one on, but I don't think, after that experience on 10 meters, I hadn't heard any of them more on UAM. But I do remember every once in a while I'd wind up talking with one, of my wife at the time, she took Russian when she was in high school. And she would tell me what to say in terms of saying good day or do svidaniya, have a good day or good night or what have you. And they'd freak out.
Yeah, who is this guy? He speaks our language.
I know. Must be operating behind the democratic curtain.
Yes, the evil, where we paint our women with makeup and make them dance.
Yeah. And this is the 49th edition of The Voice of Communism. Yes, indeed. So how's my signal holding up?
Well, your signal's doing great, Timmy. You popped up about 45 minutes ago from being there to being loud. And right now you're loud.
Yeah, well, you're not doing too badly, and neither is Billy.
Timmy, you're 62 dB above the noise floor over here. It's your SNR report from Montana Mountain. W2BTK.
Yeah, try getting on frequency. Why don't we all zero in as closely as possible?
Yeah, I'm a little low. It's not that easy for me. I got it. The VFO is in a different room.
We're all on the same frequency, so if you run in there, you can zero beat any of us, and it'll be perfect, and that'll work. Yeah. By the way, I can transmit a carrier here day and night, 24/7, 365. Also, that's really not an accomplishment. The real accomplishment is when you have audio on your carriers to not sound like a complete jackass when you get on the air, especially if you've had a couple of drinks. I think that is an important accomplishment on 75 meter AM. But that's just me.
Yeah. For sure. Keep the sunny side of your modulation.
Keep the sunny side up and the greasy side down.
Yep. Well, it'll be interesting. Johnston ARF section up and running again. There'll be another 3 dB, which, that helps.
Let me see. I think I've zero beat of everybody now. Hello.
Excellent.
I had to turn off the goddamn blower. I cranked the volume on the receiver here, and I unplugged the blower from the wall so that I could hear the speaker from the other room. And then I worked my 1940s VFO. Well, gosh dang, look at that.
Yeah, you got it.
Well, it seems pretty stable.
It's not bad for old crap. Mine is okay. It's moving a little bit.
Yeah, well, when I built the Blue Magoo, eventually, early 80s, a factory-installed modification is a VXO circuit.
What?
You wind a coil around a pencil and put some electric tape over it. You pull the pencil out, and you jam that in series with one of those little plastic Japanese transistor radio broadcast variables, and put that all in series with your crapstal.
Well, you could do that, but this is far more simpler than that. When I initially built the RF section, I was trying to do something where in one position I'd have crapstal control, or I'd be able to engage kind of like an electron-coupled oscillator circuit, or maybe it was just a series-tuned circuit with a coil in place of the crapstal. Oh, God, what an SBE it was. I couldn't use it, so I just never did anything with it. So, you got this little, National Velvet Veneer drive with a little tiny, VFO scale. And, it's just sitting there. So I had this dual gain broadcast band air variable condenser. Well, envision one section with all the plates left in place, and the other section with a number of the plates removed. So with it fully meshed, you might have about maybe 40 or 50 puff of condensity of that. So the cap with a small amount of capacity goes from the grid of the oscillator to ground. And the 365 puff cap is in series with the end of the crapstle that would normally go to ground. So as you increase the capacity, the ground, you're bringing down the frequency of the crapstle as well as putting a lot of, capacity at the other end, which electrically appears across the crapstle. And I can pull a 75 meter crapstle 2 or 3 kilohertz and a 40 meter one almost 5.
Yeah, that's pretty good, 2 or 3. I guess if the whole B plus and everything is fairly well regulated, then you don't have to worry about anything popping around. That's pretty good. I have never tried that with a 75 meter crystal ever. Did plenty of other crystals back in the day, moving them around and all that. I remember there was a guy in my neighborhood that they were running a citizens band shop, selling CBs, and this guy worked in the back room, unlocking your clarifier, all this stuff. That was one of his tricks, was what I described earlier. Yeah, 2 or 3 kilohertz down here. That's pretty good. That'd be plenty. But anyway, if I need 2 or 3 kilohertz, I'm not going to do it like that anymore, Timmy. W2 very weak.
This WA1HLR.
W2BTK, that's Billy the Kid, here on Montana Mountain.
Yeah, what you got is really steady there, Billy.
It's a Viking 2 that Dave gave me that I modified heavily myself. That's the only street cred I have. And then an amplifier that Dave built in the 1990s.
Yeah, well, it's doing a fine business job. Yep, yes indeed. Yeah, well, that's the problem, is I want to screw with the blow-my-go. I gotta get my ass out of my comfortable position in the chair, hit the spot switch, and there I am.
That's a lot of work.
Well, just the up and down keeps your joints limber. It's a form of exercise.
Yeah. To be true to form amateur radio, you got to be able to sit in a chair without actually moving or doing anything. At least for several hours. That way the QSO is that much more meaningful.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the older I get, the more comfortable the chair has to be. Back in the day, before the fire, I had this wooden chest made of plywood that my first wife had, that was made for her as like a toy chest, for toys and things, and she had it with her when we got together, and then years later it wound up in my ham shack, threw a cushion on it, and it was the seat. And I don't know, I guess I stashed parts and whatnot inside the thing. Well, needless to say, it got burned up in the fire.
Man, I'll never forget hearing about that. on 20 meters of all places when that happened. That was really weird. Anyhow, you're still here. You got plenty of good radio stuff, and you know, time marches on, and got a lot of good years left. And I guess you got all your Lyme disease crap in order as well as you can. You're being managed. You got an XYL that makes sure you take care of yourself. That's important. So you're doing pretty well. You're living a dream, Timmy.
Yep. You know, that's what I keep telling myself. And then when I wake up in the night and I can't sleep, and, you know, I'm being haunted by all these demons of things I need to get done, wondering if I'll get them done, and other things I have to attend to, and all that. Oh, God, I tell you know, I look at my age, what I am now, man, you know, about, I would say almost half the people that I really enjoyed talking with on this band are now worm food.
Yeah, no question about it. The weird part is whenever somebody who's a real annoying jackass passes away, then two of them take their place.
No, I know. But in many cases, they're more piss weak than the jackass that was annoying.
Yeah, well, Johnny Reverb lives on.
Yes, he does.
Hey, Timmy,
Yeah?
I got half a mind to, like, you know, I'm working a lot these days. I don't have to buy diapers. I don't got a wife. I don't got nothing. I'm thinking about maybe building a PC, right? And, getting some kind of decent camera, and I'll just friggin' come up there, right? Install this crap at the HLR QTH, set it all up. I want you to make YouTube videos, and I might, when I have time, like, if you're down, I'll just come up there with a goddamn computer and a camera and set all that crap up and be like, here, look, like, it's just there. Click this button and you're recording, and you could just make YouTube videos. Like, I'm that invested in it that I would actually do that. What do you think about that?
Well, I appreciate the thought. You know, that's one of the, well, if one could make a New Year's resolution, that's one thing I want to do. And I don't know about uploading onto YouTube. My wife has put together a video with one of her songs, and she keeps running into dead ends and roadblocks and all kinds of things, and it's ready to go, but there always seems to be a problem, and she's been trying for the last year and a half. Keeps running into roadblocks, and I haven't had the experience with uploading anything to YouTube, so I don't know how to help her.
Well, if you don't need to make like a fancy video or anything like that, you can check this out. Like, you can live stream to YouTube, right, in real time. So there's no editing involved. There's no nothing. You just click a button and it goes up, you know. And if, you know, you can work around that. You can just do like a Timmy live stream, right? And if you have, you know, the right PC and the right hardware and a decent camera, you can just go live, kind of like I'm doing right now on Twitch, but just on straight to YouTube, right? And who cares? Like, it could be a 2-hour, a 3-hour video or whatever. You just have a dedicated machine and a camera there, and when you want to go live and what you want the world to see what you're doing, they'll see what you're doing. You know, it's not that bad. You can put together a machine for pretty cheap. You know, the cameras aren't that bad. Like, I would invest in that. Like, I would come up there, set all that crap up, because I want to see that. W2BTK.
Yep. Well, you never know. When things settle down, you just never know. Hell, I was thinking about it today. Today, August 14th, is my wife's birthday. She turned 65. And we went out to a nearby lake that we enjoy going to. And, yeah. I was going to go in swimming, but, you know, the humidity dropped and the breeze picked up. It was just absolutely delicious. So I just was hanging out, gazzing on that. But one thing I did bring along, and I've got a collection of QSTs and other publications going back into the 30s. And I grabbed a couple of them when I was up in the bunker, because I got to put up shelving so I can get my a bit of a reading stash rather than having stuff in boxes on the floor and in the way and all that. And it was a 38 or 39 issue. And on the back cover they were heralding, RCA's was heralding the development of the 813, you know, and they had, you know, an interesting article on the homebrew receiver, you know, concepts thereof and the schematic and all that. And there was another issue I have that some guy, more of a professor, did an article on a high fidelity audio driver for modulators, you know, and on and on and on. Stuff, you know, this is just stuff from out of the past that everybody forgets about. And I was just envisioning doing, you know, videos like, we take a Johnson Ranger, absolutely stock, and I have the thing all set up. Dummy load, scope, audio oscillator,
Table saw.
I would show how bad the audio response is. A nice broadband receiver going into the audio feed, into the video recording device, so you get a good earful of what it sounds like. And, you know, it would kind of be like Monster Garage, but more or less Monster Ham Shack. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, exactly. Not that hard to do. I mean, I feel like you could set up, get a decent PC, right? And then you just need an audio interface with a couple of different inputs, right? You mult that out to a patch bay. You've got like a 1/4-inch patch bay or whatever. Input 1, input 2, input 3, input 4, whatever. Have it set up. You can patch into the PC with that, you know, and it like all the editing and that BS aside, like, you simplify it, you just live stream, you know, and there might be, you know, 5 minutes of dead air here and there, whatever, but it would just be the ability to you know, patch stuff into the computer and just have it go out. You know what I mean? Like that's the beginning. And that's not that hard to set up, and I would invest in that.
Yep. Well, I've got mixing boards and all that, so that's no problem. And I've got various computers that I think would handle it. I just have to set it all out. My problem is time. But I'm very slowly moving in that direction. And then I gotta have a place that's set up to do it. And, you know, it's... Yeah, well, you know what I'm saying. God. Yeah, you know, anything like this, you gotta get it set up. But once it's set up, you know, then I really don't want to live stream, because you get into what I call the JS dangling conversation, where, you know, the viewers would just see me drilling and blasting and pissing and moaning, and then I walk away from it for a while to get something to munch on or whatever, and you know, maybe I'd have to take the camera and point it out the window or something like that. You know, what I want to do is produce videos that have all the crap edited out. You know, you probably saw the video that Clark edited up that was me at in the lab getting that Gates BC1T up and running. That's about a 50-minute video, and that's a condensation plus, you know, the other stuff that Clark added in and had me do, like being driving away in my car and all that, and the arrival and this and that and the other thing. But, you know, there was like, oh God, like 4 or 5 days of me just working straight on that thing. And I don't think people want to see that.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's much more professional. You know, that's definitely gonna be a lot more watchable, but, you know, live streaming is a place to start, I'm just saying. But, hey, if you need any help, and if you do get that set up, you can send me hours of raw video, and I will edit it for you. Like I said, I'm invested, and I want to see some, you know, Timtron content out there. I'll do whatever it takes. You know, if you want to just record crap, I'll edit it for you, Timmy. Open invitation, W2BTK.
All right. Well, when I get some stuff together, I'll put it on a thumb drive and send it your way.
Do it.
So there you go. This WA1HLR.
W2 very weak. Something wrong with my squirrels.
Oh. Well, yeah, you know, I'm hearing static in there.
You know, all static went away there for a while. Now it's back. I wish it would stop again.
Well, Hey, this is 75.
Yes. Have a wick and turn it up.
That's right. You'd be surprised, though, what people watch on a live stream. There can be some dead air, and it's okay.
Yep. Well, I can audio stream out of here, no problem. I do when I do my weekly radio show.
You should see most of the crap on Twitch, you know. There'll be these, 4 or 5 hour live streams. People just stream video games, right? And there could be like an hour of just crap, and people will hang out just for those few minutes of excitement.
Yeah, if it comes along, to me, people that do that mustn't have much in their lives, and they're very bored. Man, I can't just hang out. Something has to be going on. I find lots of stuff on YouTube that I find very entertaining. Videos that people have put together. Oh, God. Yeah, I think I'm going to be winding it down here just a little bit.
The other aspect of live streaming, right? And I think people are like, YouTube is very curated, like you get on YouTube and within the first 10 seconds if it's something you want to watch, and they know that it's all edited and designed for that. But the people who are into like watching live streams, you know what I mean? Like they're kind of used to the fact that it gets a little slow sometimes, but there's a lot going on. There's a chat. There's like other things, people, other stuff than just the live stream, it's more of like, I want to say it's a community, like it's not just the content, it's the people who are there watching it too. That has a lot to do with it, and it's just like it's kind of a new thing, it's not just you clicking YouTube videos of like stuff you find interesting. It's like joining a community. You know what I mean? It's I don't know. This whole live streaming thing, I find it very intriguing.
Yep. Oh yeah. It was a couple of years ago. I think the streaming service is called Ustream, and when Alan Wiener would do his show for Studio A, QLFECQ, he used to get a couple of video cameras set up, and there'd be the monitor, and people would watch it. You're just sitting there flapping your yap or whatever, and there were a few times I was on doing a broadcast of Radio Timtron worldwide, but I'd be sucking on a cold one or firing up the 811 rig, and a couple other people would just kind of come and go in the studio, and it was like, what goes on behind the scenes?
Yeah, it's I don't know. The live streaming thing it's new stuff, It's not. It's a little slower. You can't fast forward through the dull parts. It's like you're there to hang out with the person, and you do it in real time,
Yep. Yeah. I really want to build a studio. What's in here It's a friggin' disorganized heap of stuff lashed together. But I want to get in one of the other trailers. There's a room that I want to build a studio in. And then I'll do a lot more wood. So, but in the meantime, I got to keep what I got going. Anyway.
This is supposed to be a heart.
Yep. Well, I can appreciate that, people wanting to hang out. Yep. I think it'll be time. Here, have a little something and then head off to bed. My wife is already headed off to bed, and it was an interesting day, needless to say. This WA1HLR.
Oh, Timmy.
Davy, I'm running out of scrope.
Oh, man, I remember younger Timtron. He could go for hours, but all right, Timmy, it's been fun. It's always fine business modulating with you, OM. So thank you for all the instructive engineering advice over the years, and I never burned down my home. Thank you. Over.
Yeah, I was just thinking about something here. One of the guys involved in the local FM station, he used to work at the AM/FM combo that I was at, but he started working there after I left, you know. But for some reason or other, my reputation would precede me, and you know, that's when I met up with Tom, KA1ZGC. He was there. So I met a whole new group of people, you know, and this particular individual who calls himself Faz because of his last name, you know, did the evening slot, and he was probably one of the most popular jocks on the station, and the tunes he'd play, you know, first rate. Well, station changed ownership and, you know, bought by big corporate radio, so he was gone with the Schwinn, as it were. So he's been out of radio for many years. That's something that I'm sure he misses. But a couple of years ago, he finally got involved with a low-power FM station and does a 2-hour show that he goes in, pre-records in the studio, and gets loaded into the pooter up here, and it runs Friday night for 2 hours, and Saturday, after I do my 1-hour thing, the Faz is on, and he decided to, you know, for the hell of it, he put his email out there. And even though it's a 2-watt, you know, low-power FM station, it's got coverage and it's got listeners. So he's getting emails, and he has Ask the Faz. And I was listening in this evening, and there was some woman who was mentioning that she was cleaning up around her place, and she had a couple of coolers sitting outdoors. Then she went to move one of them, and there was this big-ass hornet's nest. She didn't get stung, but she was wondering how to deal with it. So Faz is talking up, you know, be careful and, you know, use the wasp spray, but wait till nighttime when they're all tucked in, you know, and I was just envisioning myself doing that. and tell you, well, you break out a can of WD-40 and you flick your bic, and I take a cigarette lighter and I flick the bic and I hit the WD-40 button on the air and you hear the whoosh of the flame. I said, yep, flamethrower in a can. Well, you just flame the sons of bitches and set their nest on fire. And remember, friends, don't do this at home. And I shall not be responsible if you burn your home down. But the wasps will definitely be gone, and that would be my
Yeah, that's great, Timmy. Well, gotta roll out the disclaimer ahead of time, man. Before you say all that stuff. But there is nothing like the sound of incomplete combustion. Not properly mixed. Running away and putting those chlorofluorocarbons and hydrocarbons out there in the atmosphere and warming up whatever is in its path. I think there was a James Bond movie where James Bond was in the bathtub or something, and some snake comes after him, and he lights up the snake with a cigar or something, and a can of shaving cream or whatever it was. The old, you can't get those repellents anymore. Where the really good stuff. You can't buy anything in the store anymore. It's roasted unleaded. Well, anyway, those of us who have a little bit of sense have managed to harness the powers of shaving cream or WD-40 and a Bic light, maybe a V8 engine that's on the ground, it's not bolted to anything. You light it up in your driveway with a little bit of gasoline in the carbonator, you light it up. Yeah, and we're still here. I still have all my fingers. I can't feel all of them, but it's okay.
And flame that wasp. And of course, the flame would go up, hit the ceiling, and leave a scorch mark.
Good double.
So the ceiling could scorch marks and flame marks here and there. And not fast, but this is another guy by the name of Dwayne who was there in the 80s, who was quite the character. And he was on the little Power FM station for quite a while. He came back into the area. And he's sitting up there with me, and we're firing up the 811 rig and whatnot, and Wasp shows up, and he's scared shitless of wasps. So I pulled out the WD-40 flamethrower in a can and yeah, and flamed the little bastards. I'm sure he thinks I'm a little, but he's known me for years and knows that I am. And I'll leave you with that. I gotta go to bed. This WA1HLR.
Roger, and sorry about the double there. Okay, Timmy, good night. Nice talking with you, WA1HLR, W2BTK. This is W2 every week here on Beechwood Mountain.
We doubled?
Well, yeah, it's okay.
All right, Timmy, I'll see you later, man. Very good chats out here, and yeah, if you need any help with making videos, or if you feel like making videos, just friggin' make them, all right? And send me the raw footage. I'll deal with it. I'm very adamant about this. I'm very invested in it. I've got time. I don't buy diapers. I don't have an old lady telling me what to do. It's just me at the W2BTK studio over here. So there's time. I feed my cat, and then, it's whatever the hell I want to do. And if you make HLR videos, like I'm totally down to edit those down and put them out there for the world, because I think that is worth a lot. You know, that's good stuff. So I'll catch you later. WA1HLR W2BTK.
Roger. Over.
Somebody's trying pretty hard.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. You know, I was listening on the Citizens Band earlier today, Billy. Yeah, I know you're into that. And one of the losers, resident losers that was there, is like, if people aren't talking about you and complaining, then you're not really doing what you got to do, or something like, I don't know. I could paraphrase it. I don't really know what he said, but it reminded me that they stopped complaining about me. I haven't heard any complaints. They say, listen here, you know. They want to be W2VW, but they can't, because they're them. They don't know anything about how to get out. But they can buy stuff. But the point is, here, the reason I'm mentioning this, Billy, it was inspirational, you know, because the guy said, he actually said something intelligent, and I've been listening to this guy for over 10 years. He really never says anything intelligent, but he's right. If they're not talking about you and complaining, then you're doing something wrong.
Well, yeah, I always gauged my CB success on like how many truckers at any given point were driving around looking for me, wanting to kill me, like literally murder. So that I learned that from Tommy 2 Watt, you know, the good Reverend 2 Black. And it's funny you mentioned the chicken band, because today I was looking at my 5/8 wave vertical for that band and really considering putting it up on my little TV tower with the mast. You'll probably get that damn thing up about 40 feet in the air. And from this location, I feel like that would do really well. And, well, you know what I got going on over here? I was kind of thinking, like, you know, maybe I'd get on the chicken band a little bit. And I'm not afraid to say that. You know, I've got 4-watt carrier, 16-watt PEP radios sitting around out the wazoo. And there's nothing illegal about that. And I feel like it could make a dent with something like that, with the antenna system and the location that I have. So, you know, that was a consideration. I might very well be putting up a 5/8 wave 11-meter vertical tomorrow.
Yeah, well, you know what you got to do there, in my opinion, you know, my opinion, that's my opinion, but we were talking earlier about getting the steel tower going, you know, getting that thing, getting some concrete poured and all that, and putting that thing up. I think that's what you really need to put your energy into it, because whatever you put on that thing is going to be stellar. You got a better location than 99% of the people that are on the air, especially on this band. You got a killer location there, just killer location. Plus you have radials, man. You got radials. Who's got steel belted radials buried all around their property? Nobody. I mean, years ago, occasionally you would run into somebody who got out better than they should. They always wondered what was the soil conditions, or what's really going on there? And the answer never really materialized. In your case, we know that you've got steel-belted radials, and they can pull them all out, they can throw them out, but, you know, all that old rubber and rusted cross belts in those radials there, you know, the Generals and the Uniroyals, and they're all in the ground. They're going to be there for years decomposing, so you're going to get the advantage of that, man. Nobody has that. So I would do that, you know. Just get that number one. Anything that you do, make it go towards jamming up a tower. You put a tower up there, and yeah, your trees are not healthy, but they're still there. And if they fall down, you put a telephone pole up. You will completely kick butt on any band that you decide to kick butt on. Speaking of butts, this is W2VW.
W2BTK. Well, yeah, I just got to dig a big old hole in the ground. My neighbor's got machines parked, you know, a quarter mile away. They could do that easily. It's, I just have to schedule a day for a concrete truck to come over here and pour a lot of concrete in the ground. I still have to grab a bunch of rebar or, you know, 1 5/8 unistrut or something like that. But I'm not very worried about that. I mean, that could be done very quickly. There is some rebar laying around on the job, but, you know, it's not the kind of job where it's just like around, you can pick it up and throw it in your trunk. I'd have to ask somebody, but like, hey, like, can I grab some of this crap? I'm thinking that, you know, rebar's good, but 1 5/8 unistrut and like bolts and L brackets and stuff, that's like more common around here, and I think probably better.
Yeah, man. So I'm checking something out over here, and I'm wondering if you're noticing a slight difference in my signal and its footprint. Over.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Roger, I'm hearing a defective signal, and it's within the passband, and it's very annoying, so I figure I will thank them for doing what they're doing, and that they're not the only person on the air that can do that, and you should really behave better. So it's behavior modification is what it really is. Trying to spank somebody who's doing something really stupid. Anyway, yeah, well, you need rebar. You need it. You have to have it. You know, if you want your concrete, you want your pour to be reinforced properly and get the maximum amount of strength for the amount of weight and money that you spend there. You got to get lots of rebar and tie it into a cage. People, it's like an obsession with welding rebar together. I don't know why people think that there's any advantage to welding. Rebar is crap. It's unknown steel, you know, mixed with slag and who knows whatever else was there. And welding it together, you have to weld our rebar. That's really stupid. Just tie it. You tie it with tie wire. It's in concrete, and it's strong because it's where it's placed and the size of the grid and the size of the rebar. It's so stupid, but you see that over and over again. So yes, you want lots of rebar. You can't have too much of it. And yeah, unistrut and all that. That's nice stuff to have. It's really convenient to have, but that's not going to do any good for anything with your tower except for a sidearm or something. You know, if you want to hang a dipole off of one end, and you really don't need unit strut. It's very heavy, and you could do that with a piece of, you could do it with a broomstick, for crying out loud.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, there's just a lot of it laying around. I was thinking of filling the hole with like bolted together unistrut instead of rebar. But yeah, welding rebar is stupid. I mean, the concrete itself is probably almost as conductive as the rebar.
Yeah. Well, the thing about that rebar is that its surface has a whole lot of crevices, and that displaces concrete.
Yo, Andy, man, thanks for the sub.
Whereas unistrut,
resubbing.
It's got a smooth surface
That's your
area,
third one,
so
bro. Thanks for the 3 months, man.
It's not going to give you the same reinforcement per unit of weight and size and effort. It probably isn't bad, but who knows? If it's been qualified any place, where somebody actually did an engineering study and said, well, we got lots of this stuff, let's bury it instead of rebar, which is a well-known quantity.
Yep. Well, I mean, that's what they use in the pours. Unistrut might be overkill. I don't know. I was thinking about, putting unistrut in the pour. Well, what's the difference, But rebar is the tried and true method. There's some of it laying around. We're putting in a couple of new transformers in this building, so there's definitely a little bit of unistrut around. Rebar around. So maybe I can get a little bit of that off the job site, but who knows? I don't know. All I know is there's tons of unistrut, and that might work just as well as rebar inside a concrete pour. Over.
Papa 3 November India Sierra. Could have sworn I heard Papa 3 November India Sierra. W2VW.
Hello, BBI.
I don't watch any of those videos, by the way. I can't do that to myself. It's worse than this. Looks like Al Capone got my wrist here.
If you have to have the right mindset when you go to watch one of those videos. Like, you got to shut it all off. And there's certain things to admire, but they're overshadowed by the a lot of other things. I mean, the technical content is very questionable, but the passion for the hobby and, just in general, nice solder jockey work is pretty good. So it's entertaining.
Yeah, I get it. Well, you're young. You've got more patience than I do.
You really got to check out the Skullcracker channel, man. Prime, Sir Mix-a-Lot. He does cool stuff, man.
Yeah, maybe if I get in the mood, and maybe if I get in a car accident and I can't move, I'll do that.
Yeah. Well, it's for like Chicken Bay and Crab, he's ahead of the curve.
Isn't that the guy that they welcomed on AM Facebook because they're hypocrites?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they were all about him on there, even though like he does just legitimately like solely 11-meter work. He's a famous guy, and they're jumping on his dick just like everyone else. So, it is a little hypocritical, but I understand it,
So you're saying that people on AM Facebook are hypocrites? Okay, I'm just trying to clarify that.
Yeah, and it's fine as long as it's not like some kid from New Jersey who goes against the grain of the fearless leader. He's just some other guy on the West Coast doing stuff who doesn't even know about AM Facebook, If you come out and say things like AM Facebook sucks, KA4KOE is a friggin' loser, they won't like you very much.
You got any reports of him being a complete jackass recently? I mean, I know there were, dozens and dozens of those a while back, but has he rehabilitated his attitude and decided to shut up, or no?
I don't know. Maybe he just hasn't had time to spread his jackassery around, or I don't know what it is. But the QRZ forums have been pretty dead lately, and I've been doing my best to not provide any sort of content whatsoever to that forum, even though like I have been doing some stuff that is a little bit noteworthy, and I think that a lot of people would be very interested in. It's just, I have stayed the hell off of that forum, strictly because the moderator of that forum, Bill, like N6, whatever the he is, told me basically to stay off of there. I'm staying off of there. And I will continue to do so for the next 20, 30 years or whatever, however long I am active on the ham bands, which is going to be much longer than him or any of his friends. I would love to see that place just die and rot and go to hell. You know what I mean? And that's kind of sad, and it's not good, but it's just the way that it is. As long as he's a volunteer moderator on there, I won't be posting anything that I do. And eventually there's not going to be that many people left like doing stuff with all this, so it's going to happen somewhere else, and I'll let you know where that place is. W2BTK.
Roger, W2VW. Well, I understand how you feel, but QRZ is a totally different venue, and it's a lot bigger fishbowl, and it's not the Facebook thing where somebody can try to squash you. Facebook, there are other moderators watching, and it's a big place. There's a lot of people watching. It's established, and some guy wants to censor you because he's trying to show his buddy that he can do that. It's not going to work there. I don't think it's going to work. These guys, he's in the middle. He's there, but he's not there, because if he does something really stupid, it's going to land back on him. Just like the guy up the band that's trying to run the 5.5 kilohertz lower sideband signal next to an AM QSO. It's not working out well for him right now. Yeah, it's amateur radio, and it's stupid. It really is. You and I could be on here, static crashes that's subsided. We could be on here with 50 watts, each of us. But because of lidsmanship, it's lidsmanship. That's what's taking over the ham bands, man. If Hiram were around today, he'd be like, you guys are on phone, you guys are phone men. You're garbage. I wonder what Hiram would say about FT8.
You know what's funny, Dave? There's somebody that's trying to QRM our QSO here, and it doesn't seem like he's able to get much duty cycle out of what he's doing. In other words, he's got it cranked up to beyond probably what it can do, so he's able to key up for about 2 to 3 seconds at a time with a fair signal. Still, I can hear you just fine through it, but he's not able to sustain it, and it's just funny. I mean, like, to me, that means that he's probably running it at a point where, like, if he did run it for more than 2 to 3 seconds, it would blow the hell up. So it's obviously an inferior final to whatever the hell you have, or an inferior antenna system with, you know, a decent final, or whatever he's doing. He just can't sustain it for more than a couple of seconds. So you hear these pulses of QRM, and it's pretty funny. You know, I would give that a D-. If the gentleman that was trying to QRM our QSO right now could sustain that level of QRM for, you know, well, hell, even 10 to 20 seconds, you know, I might give you a C- or something like that. But as it stands, you get a D+. I mean, I can totally hear Dave through that crap anyway. I mean, it's a little bit close. You know, you can get pretty close to what Dave is doing for 2 to 3 seconds at a time before you have to unkey and you get all nervous and crap that you're gonna blow your final up. But yeah, that's where we're sitting right now. So yeah, that QRM, it's not quite doing as much signal here as Dave is. And I noticed that Dave can talk as long as he wants, and you're only able to sustain that for about 2 to 3 seconds at a time. So I would invite you to try to do that for a little bit longer, although you may blow your crap up, which is, I think, what's going on here. I'm not afraid to stay on the key for a while. I mean, I've got a commercial building-sized blower on my final right now. And granted, it's probably getting, you know, up there in temperature. Like, it's fine. I'll just continue to do what I'm doing. And I don't know. I'm probably over 60 seconds on this transmission here. So it's an open invitation to improve your skills, improve your transmitter, improve your overall ham radio effectiveness. It wouldn't be a bad thing. So, you know, the 2 or 3 seconds of you know, almost the signal level that Dave is doing, but not quite. I mean, Dave is still getting through. I'm hearing everything he's saying. He's still got a little bit on you, even though you can kind of do that for 2 or 3 seconds at a time. It's I would invite you to improve on that. You know, see what you can do. Use your skills and try to make that better. This is W2BTK on Montana Mountain with a Johnson Viking 2 plate modulated exciter and a YC156 final.
Very nice. W2VW here on B. Postage stamp size lot. My line voltage is fluctuating. I'm old, I'm tired, and I got a 1957 transmitter, and this guy can't corm me. I mean, that's like corm failure, man. It really is. They should really go back to corm school. I don't like to address cormers, but I will because you did. I can't even grade them while you're transmitting. I can't give them a grade because whoever it is, I think, it doesn't even touch your signal at all. So how am I going to grade that? It's impossible.
it's going to be hard to do. Whoever it is, they keyed up. They were doing a little bit of a whistle. I could tell that they turned it up past the point where they had it before, but they were only able to sustain that for literally like 1 to 2 seconds before they had to unkey and just not key up again and try. They could have very well blown up their final doing that, trying to compete with your signal there, Dave. So it's a very sad state of affair. And the C- that I gave before, that actually lowered it down to maybe a D. I believe that I'm going to give that QRM a D. Not even a D+. We're down to a D. So if you can sustain that for more than 1 to 2 seconds, I would potentially be able to give you a better grade on your QRM, but it sounds like you're really, really, really pushing your crap to try to compete with the kind of signal that Dave is giving me over here, and I can't get behind that. So again, this is W2BTK on Montana Mountain, running a Johnson Viking 2 plate modulated exciter into a YC156 tube. That's an IMAC tube. It's actually a rare skew. Those of you probably not familiar with it, it's an MRI tube. It's basically a 3CX5000 anode with the guts of a 3CX15000 stuffed into it. And we're running it right now at about 375 watts of carrier, swinging up, as they say on the chicken band, to about 1500 watts PEP on the voice peaks there. So I don't know. It ain't much, but apparently it's enough to completely bury the crap out of you in Dave's receiver. So there you go, W2BTK again, with my call sign, because you are supposed to identify your station after making transmissions. Hopefully I'm setting a good example. Let me do it one more time. W2BTK Whiskey 2 Bravo Tango Kilowatt.
It's like corn fail night. I'm really not supposed to communicate with people who don't identify, but I just like to say that my appendage is bigger than yours. I'm sexier than you. I'm smarter than you. I can bench press more than you. My car can tow your house down the street. Let's see what else. My dog will kick your dog's ass. What else is there, Billy?
Oh, dude, there's plenty of stuff, I believe that if we should make some kind of forum there. And if we could all just post a picture of our penises out on the website, it would just, all this stuff would go away.
I'm thinking, I often thought about that, and I really don't want to get into this on the air, but since you mentioned it, I'm thinking of taking a graduated cylinder, right, and see who can displace the most amount, the largest volume of water in a graduated cylinder with the aforementioned appendage.
I mean, I don't even think that it's about, the size. I think they just want to see our penises, that's where we're at.
I don't know. I really don't know, Billy, you've seen a lot more things than I have out there, and maybe that's what it is, but I'm really thinking that it might be the fact that they're, aforementioned is non-functional. But I don't want to go down this road, Billy.
Yeah, I hear you. This is crap radio anyway. We were having a pretty good conversation before. But anyway, just to sum it up, your QRM abilities suck. I give it a D. not quite failing, because you're able to put a decent signal out there for 1 to 2 seconds at a time, but that's about it. Not sustainable by any means. Dave is burying the crap out of you. Dave's saying that, you're not even being heard over my signal, so there's that. I mean, please feel free to continue, and we will continue to talk over you with zero, no fuss, no muss. We'll just talk over you. So improve your skills. Come back later. Thank you for playing. W2BTK.
Yeah, I'm trying to reach over here and change my audio profile. My hand hurts.
Look at that. I don't even think it's necessary. It's when they're like really, really, really trying hard, they can come a little bit close to the kind of signal you've got over here, but it's like 1 to 2 seconds of it, and then they unkey because they're afraid. They're definitely gonna blow something up. Whereas I feel like you over there, you're just messing around. You know what I mean?
Well, check that out.
Yeah, bitchin' guitar solo.
That's focus.
Oh.
What's that guy's name? Jan Ackerman. Yeah, that dude's one of the badassest guitar players ever.
Yeah, Hocus Pocus, Focus. That's a good track. Yeah, dude, he really gets after it. That guy looks like one of the apprentices that I worked with. His name was Connor. He looks exactly like the singer from Hocus Pocus.
Well, the singer is also the keyboard guy, but the guitar guy, those dudes split up, man. Yeah, they were good. Both of them were excellent. The guy playing that on the air is not excellent.
Yeah, he's not identifying his station either, which is, I would be interested to know who that is. Like, who are you? If you're going to make transmissions on the ham band, you should definitely identify your station. That way, we know who you are. This is W2BTK.
This is W2 very weak. I decreased my bandwidth to increase my performance of my station in accordance with Part 97. Use the appropriate amount of bandwidth for the information being transmitted. So I hope it sounds like I'm in compliance over there. Thank you.
It doesn't sound that much different than you did before. I could probably do something similar over here. I mean, I've got the audio filtering set at 7.5K AF, and that's just for like the S's and T's, because I don't like the way it sounds when those get truncated. But here, let's set it for, okay, now we're set for 4.5K, so everything should be right there. Put it right there where you can get it, and that'll be that. So I'm checking out the PEP watt meter, and it says that I'm doing 1,500 watts, and that's perfect right there. W2BTK on Montana Mountain.
Well, yeah. I can say that I'm using the C network to receive you, and it sounds a little bit better with the alpha configuration, but the beta configuration is fine business if you want to be friendly. Like that one person of the band there on the other mode who was trying to be obnoxious on purpose with some appliance. He probably paid a lot of money for it. You know, I spent a lot of money on this. And because of that, I am the king. I don't think it works like that, though.
Yeah, well, you know, if you don't have a lot of skills, you can just pay money and, you know, do stuff. So that's fine. You know, you want to buy stuff that does what you want it to do, that's fine. A lot of us don't do that, and you know, we may or may not have, you know, better stuff, but we definitely have better skills. And there's something to be said about that, you know. Someday you might not be able to get that crap, and you might have to piece something together, and in which case you will be off the air and we will have big signals.
This guy's only got one tune.
Man, you know how good it sounds in the dummy load when I play music into the vector signal generator? That I mean, it's sick.
Yeah, isn't it great? You check out your compression, you know, and you listen to a piece that you know you're familiar with, and you're like, okay, you know, here's the quiet passage, followed by, you know, a hit on the snare drum, and you're like, yeah, that's what happens here, and you're listening to that.
It's pretty cool. I like to use the song Walk by Pantera. Are you familiar with it?
No, I cannot say that I am familiar with it. God, hiccups here. I need more oxygen. How's that sound?
I can hear you beating on your chest there.
Yeah. Thank you. I still got the damn hiccups. What's going on here? I ain't got no oxygen. I'm gonna pass out.
Is Ada still awake?
Yes, she is.
I think she should come out here and tell these people that they suck.
I think they know it. I don't want to interrupt her. She's busy. She worked till like 8:15 tonight. It was disgusting.
Ugh, sorry to hear that, but it was probably important if she was doing that. So, she's an asset to whoever she's working for. I luckily, you know, I can't do that. When I leave the job site, that's it. You know, you're not getting any more work out of me. There's no working from home. The one good thing about twisting wire nuts and lifting 4-inch rigid conduit for a living.
Yes, when it's over, it's over. Yeah, it doesn't happen often, but today was one of those days, and I was trying to stay out of the way. But yeah, I'm looking up, never mind. I'm not even going to go there. W2VW. Probably time for me to sign on out because my hiccups are gone.
You know, I've always had great success getting rid of the hiccups. If you have like a straw or a pencil or something like, you know, similar diameter, you put it in your mouth horizontally, and you take a couple of gulps of water so that the water travels under and over either the straw or the pencil or whatever. It gets rid of the hiccups immediately. It's like magic.
Well, that's interesting. I might have to try that. I don't get the hiccups very often, but anyway, I'm waiting for my right wrist to rejoin the planet and be the same size as my left wrist. It's getting there. who knows what else is going on, you know?
Dude, every time I hear the planet, I think of that Radio Metallica. It's amazing. The planet! Hey, he does have a different tune now. Look at that. He's keyed up for more than a second. I'm afraid that he's going to blow up his transmitter.
This is a different contender. This is not the same contender from before.
Well, it doesn't really matter because you're kind of flattening it. Man, when are we going to get some, like, decent QRM that can actually compete with, you know, what's going on here? It would be, I don't know, it would be interesting, but whoever the contender number 2 is, you're still pretty much flattening them, at least in my receive.
He's -1. I can hear this guy, so I can rate him. I'm going to give him... frickin' 9 years. That's like... C- for content. And for tenacity, I don't know. We got to see if he can keep it up for a while. So I will reserve judging that. Signal strength is definitely a D, and for the general idea of it all, it's probably an F.
Well, that's a good point. I didn't think about tenacity, so yeah, the tenacity level is up there, right? I agree with your signal level rating. It is kind of in the toilet. I mean, let's face it, your game is in the basement. You need to get some better equipment, or at least better skills, maybe a better location, better antenna system. Just work on it. But that's really funny. You know, I find a lot of enjoyment just talking to you, Dave, through all of this crap. It kind of makes it all worthwhile, you know? Oh, God. You're just running a single final over there. An old 50s transmitter with a single 4400 and on a postage stamp size lot with a, you know, the antenna that you got, and you basically at sea level. Nobody can touch it. It's stupid. I don't understand. It's either what you're doing is so far above the cut that it's really dumb, or the skill level and whatnot of all these QRM stations is so far below the cut that it's ridiculous. But I don't know. It makes for some very, very, very interesting ham radio. Let me identify my station, since I've been making transmissions for almost 10 minutes here. This is W2BTK, transmitting from Montana Mountain in New Jersey. That is Whiskey 2 Bravo Tango Kilowatt on Montana Mountain in New Jersey.
Well, yeah. Some people would argue that kilowatt is really two, letters. But Hams has been saying kilowatt. It's probably fully accepted. And yes, it's true, Billy. I am on a postage stamp 80 by 100 foot lot here, 27 feet above sea level here on Beechwood Mountain. I got nothing. My line voltage is 121 volts. Used to be 125. I don't know what the hell happened. They turned the nuke plant off here. It hasn't been the same since. I think I'm headed south. My transmitter's 63 years old. I mean, anybody with an AL811 and an attitude should be able to smack me around here on the air. I just don't know why I can still be heard. It's just anyway, thanks for the fine QSO, and it's time to check on out and go to sleep, because I have a wife, and for the unhappy person that decided to take time out of their day to try to interfere with us, you might want to let them know where they can find the recording on the internet where they're not doing crap. Billy, I will listen out. W2BTK. This is W2VW W2VW. Licensed amateur station using advanced modulation, which is very hard to QRM because of diversity. Diversity makes us strong. Spectral diversity. Diversity in the workplace. Diversity in your town. Diversity is great. Competition is great. Thank you. Have a nice night.
Hey, a real nice transmission there, Dave. All right. Well, if the QRM station decides to unkey at some point during my transmission here where they can hear what I'm saying, you'll be able to find all of this documented in its entirety on Twitch. Well, let me go all out. www.twitch.tv/amateurradiolive. Right? All one word. It's being live, streamed there. If you're not able to catch the live stream, then you can find the documented version on YouTube at www.youtube.com/c/amateurradio. If you can't remember that, the YouTube channel where this is all uploaded is called 631NJ. You can definitely search for that. You'll find it with a date. This will be uploaded as, let's see, I believe it'll be uploaded as August 14th, 2020 live stream. Even though we're into August 15th by 20 minutes here, it'll still be uploaded as August 14th, 2020 live stream on the 631NJ YouTube channel, but we are still live streaming at www.twitch.tv/amateurradiolive. So there's really good documentation of all of this. You can see a spectral display, including a pan adapter, a waterfall display, plus extra IF information at the bottom that's a little bit finer. The frequency is documented. You can hear audio, and you can hear how well you fare against W2BW and myself with your QRM attempts. So definitely check all of that out, and you can see how badly that you suck. And hopefully, after seeing, your complete failure at QRM, you'll be able to take this information and improve your station. That would be my, I would love to see that. That's what this is all about. It's promoting the ham radio hobby on Twitch TV and, documenting the ham radio hobby on YouTube, including all the QRM and things that come of it. So you'll be able to go there, hear yourself getting walked on by W2VW on his postage stamp size lot, And hopefully you can make some adjustments to your antenna system, your transmitter, or just whatever the hell you're doing over there in your attempts to QRM our QSO, which, by the way, have been entirely unsuccessful. But I have faith in you. I believe in you. I feel like you can improve yourself. You can improve what you're doing there. And hey, if any of this documentation that I'm doing on Twitch or YouTube can help with that, then I'm glad to offer that service. So, Dave, it's been a pleasure. Always love talking to you out here. And you're doing real well with whatever the hell you got going on over there on your postage stamp size lot with your single 4-400 final and your open wire fed dipole with double balanced L network tuner. Same thing I got going over here. Although I am not at 27 foot above sea level. It's a little bit higher than that. So, not that that really has that much to do with what's going on in this band, but hey, it couldn't hurt. So, W2VW. This is W2BTK. Been a real nice QSO, and thanks for that. I'll catch you later. I'm going to jump out of here as well. I had quite a few glasses of wine tonight, and, well, the guys that are attempting to QRM, well, they just... I don't want to say that they totally suck at ham radio, but, they're not as good at it as you are. So, and that's well documented. Please check it out. I already gave you the links. So with that, I'll leave you. Say goodnight to Ada for me, and I'll talk to you later. W2BTK.
Roger. Okay, Billy, yeah, I'm checking out this current QRMer. He has no idea of the mechanics of amplitude modulation, how much robustness it has against appliance corners who would probably, maybe they got their license doing one of those things where the ham cram course over Saturday all day, went to the local club and all that stuff. So they certainly don't know how radio works, not based on that level of interference. So good night. Good morning. And thanks for the QSO, and we'll speak with you next time. Enjoy your couple of days off there. W2BTK WW, now pulling the little switch.
All right, I'll see you later, Dave. It's sad. It's really sad, but I gotta go. All right, W2BTK. See you later, Dave.
But you want to stay around more just to stomp. I get it. Good night. W2VW.
Oh my God, dude. That's fucking sad. They're not good at it. They're just not good at it. Dave's on a postage stamp size lot, 27 foot above sea level with a single 4-400 final, and these guys can't touch them. I mean, I don't know. If any of you QRM guys are watching the live feed, send me an email. Maybe I can give you some pointers. I could put you in contact with Dave. He could probably help you out if you want to make your station a little bit better. But honestly, you can't bust a grape out here. It's documented. Check it out on YouTube. Oh, wrong hand. Here you go. Boop. Right there. YouTube at 631NJ. That's where I upload all of these live streams, so you can check it out. But anyway, guys, I've been drinking a bit of wine. Not gonna lie to you, I'm a little bit drunk right now. So I'm probably going to end the live stream. We'll be doing this again tomorrow night. Hopefully, if there's anyone out on the band, Tommy, if you're still out here, K2TJH, hit me up in the afternoon or something. I'm gonna, I'll send you a PM with my phone number there. Give me a call or whatever. Hey, yo, sneaky 1010. Thanks for following, man. Welcome to the party. We've been live streaming for a while. Do this ham radio stuff Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. As long as I'm working. I was doing it like every night when I was off of work, but location. I'm in New Jersey, so I'm like right on the New Jersey-Pennsylvania border, about 4 miles into Jersey from the PA border there. You can look me up on QRZ. The call sign is W2BTK. I talked to a lot of guys up in your area in Boston, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Connecticut. There's quite a few guys, pretty much regulars on 3885 kilohertz, 3875 kilohertz, where I usually talk. But that's par for the course, I guess. But anyway, welcome, Sneaky. Hope you tune in tomorrow night. I'm going to be doing the same thing. So, anyway, guys, I'm going to upload this live stream to YouTube in its entirety. You can check it out. There's all those sad, failed QRM attempts toward the end. Oh, you're studying for your tech? Oh, dude, when you go for your tech, just take the general exam at the same time, man. It won't cost you any more money. You might pass. That's what my buddy Tommy did. He went for his tech. He took his general at the same time, and he ended up passing both of them. So, yeah, good deal, man. Good deal. It's a lot of fun. I don't know. It would be cool if you got both, bro. You could totally come out here and talk. There's a whole slew of guys who I talk to up near you. Real easy to copy. You know, you don't have to run a lot of power. You know, they run 50, 100 watts on AM, and it's just fine down here in New Jersey. So if you want to join in on the fun, you get your general. That would be freaking awesome, man. Sneaky, if you got any questions or whatever. You've been a physics guy for a while, so you get the concept. Good, man, good. So you got a background. Just the down and dirty antenna propagation. Yeah, like I said, if you want to come in here, ask questions, I'd definitely help you out. I've also got a Discord server where there's a lot of people hanging out, and some pretty smart people in there. Definitely a good place to hang out when the live stream isn't up. You can totally ask questions in there, and you'll definitely get some answers from people who know what the hell they're talking about. I'm going to post a link right now. That's the Discord server. So when the live stream isn't up, if you got questions about antennas, propagation, this, that, the other thing, that's a good place to start. You'll be around for now. That's what you found the stream. Heard me on 3885. Cool, man. Yeah. If you can hear me, I probably won't have any problem hearing you. Sorry, I'm like literally. I've had like 4 glasses of wine. I'm a little drunk, but Yeah, cool, man. I'll see you in the Discord. I'm gonna hop on there after the stream for a little while. I don't know if you have like a voice chat capability, but I'll hop in the in the voice chat for a minute there. If you wanna go back and forth for a minute. So anyway, guys, that's pretty cool. Welcome, Mr. Sneaky. Good luck on your tech and general test. And well, shit, we'll do this again tomorrow night. Hopefully there will be some good activity out there. We got a little bit of a late start tonight, but I think it was pretty worthwhile. Got a 3-hour stream out of it, so. Oh, all right, man. Yeah, dude, whenever you got time. The live stream isn't always up. I usually do this Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, but the Discord is always there. So, you know, you can post questions. My buddy Dave, W2VW, he was kind of my Elmer. He hangs out in there. He's a good guy to ask questions to. Whatever. I mean, the entire point of this live stream, Sneaky, is to develop interest in ham radio and just basically nurture anybody's interest who has interest in this stuff. So if you're looking to get your tech in general, I'm all about it. I'll commit myself to answering your questions and getting you going on this crap, because the average age of hams these days is like, I don't know, something sick, like 70 years old or something. We need more people to get into this, to keep it going, you know what I mean? So we'll be happy to answer any questions you got or anything. So I'll catch you on the Discord. But for now, guys, been a fun night. I'll catch you later. I'm fucking drunk, and I'm gonna go eat some potato chips and hop on the Discord. The live stream will be uploaded, like I said, 631NJ on YouTube. If you want to rewind and catch something you missed or whatever. So we'll see you tomorrow night, guys. Peace out.